what is the order of operations for a bass player just looking to get from beginner to advanced?
It's easy these days. You listen to the beginning people who played the bass, right? Who were the first people to play the bass? Some of them are still alive, okay? Chuck Rainey, one of my heroes, is older than the electric bass. Okay, the electric bass.
I never thought of that.
Yeah, think about it. He's older than the electric bass.
I never thought of that.
So the pioneer, this is like, for me, living in the days of the Wright brothers. So we can be attached to the very beginning of this instrument. Now, the double bass, acoustic bass, goes back further, which is where this came from.
Yeah.
Jamerson played the double bass. Chuck Rainey didn't. He went straight to electric. So this is a new instrument. So it's not hard to find the beginning of where and why and when. And then we're attached to it, and we build from there. And with the internet now, there's never been an easier time. Probably even when you were young, we had to buy records. We had to wait for the band to come to town. Now we push a couple buttons, and it's all in our lap. Right?
Yeah.
Everything we want to see is right in front of us. But we had to search for it, which was a gift. Because if we wanted to get good, we had to practice. Nowadays, we want to get good, we dial it up on the internet, and we want someone to teach us. Different attitude. They both work, but a different attitude. But to get back to your question, you go back to the beginning of who played it first, right? Because even the music of the day is built upon the music of yesterday.
Of course.
And the music of yesterday had simple bass lines, note-wise. But there's a whole history and lesson in every bass part, you know, and some of the simplest parts. You know, Papa Was a Rolling Stone, that bass line. Simple, but there's a whole, at least half a year of college worth that you could study just in that bass line. But in many cases, we're going to learn the Victor Wooten, Flea solo stuff first.
Yeah.
Before we've learned what we call the basics.
I like that.
Yeah.
What are some exercises that the people that are very technically proficient have the roof? What are some things that they can do to build the foundation?
First, one of the things I do is in a nice way, try to point out what the person's gifts are first.
Absolutely.
To make them know that you're on their side. But then you kind of let them know that there's some holes in their game. At my music camps, and I have a group of people, I can tell who's gigging and who's not. I get the guys that want to impress me and play my stuff, which, I thank you, that's great. I can't even play it that well. Thank you for that. But I say, how many bands are you in? They say, well, none, I just practice. Then I go to this young lady over here who's grooving. How many bands are you in? 3. How old are you? 17. And I look at the first guy. He gets it right away. Oh, right? You got to play bass lines to get in bands. The only band that wants Victor Wooten, I've already got that job. So, So the one thing that I have people do is go back and learn some early, simple bass lines. Play them for minimum 15 minutes. Don't add a thing. Just so you know you can.
Yeah.
And now write me 5 other bass lines similar to that.
Yeah.
Because the art of coming up with great bass lines is almost like the art of being a rhythm guitarist.
Sure.
You see it dying. And when someone like you or Sonny or somebody comes out and it's like, wow. It's like, I didn't even know I was thirsty, but this is quenching my thirst, For me, the best way of teaching anything is through examples.
Yep.
And I point out examples of people who are on everybody's records.
Yeah.
And then I ask the student, why do you think? Why is Lee Sklar on over, I forget how many thousands of records, Nathan East, and then, like I said, Chuck Rainey, James Jamerson, Pina Palladino. These guys are working all the time because you don't know them as a soloist.